Well, cheers, lady buckaroos. How the heck are you? Right, just a couple minutes behind it, trying to find everything. Anyway, I am Tom the Beer and Whiskey Whisperer, at least for the purposes of this video. How the heck are you? I had a nice conversation with the brew guru earlier today. Glad some of you were able to tune in. The brew guru is one of the most knowledgeable beer folks you'll ever find. But it does lead me to another conversation. Anybody that's done this for any period of time is going to have some haters, right? You're going to have some people that just don't like you for whatever reason. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that bothers you, right? Is that you have these people that hate you for some bizarre reason, but for a period of time they pretend that they like you. they're positive. They're all about your content, and they're really nice. And all of a sudden, they just turn on you on the dime, and you're never sure what happened. The truth is, there's nothing you can do about that. I wish I had a magic bullet, or, something I could say. Oh no, they're going to be nice one day. But here's the thing: some people just thrive on confrontation. There are some people out there that just have a need to be negative. They want to piss on everybody's parade. And there was a time I would have engaged that at every corner, right? I kind of enjoyed it for a period of time. But I've just had too much happen to me over the stage of my lifetime. I just ain't dealing with it anymore. I mean, I've lost... I was going to say family members, but that's not really true. Distant family, maybe. Some cousins that I've just had to cut off contact with because the negativity just isn't good. So when a pseudo friend you only know from social media decides they're going to be nasty, no, I'm just going to cut that off. I'm not dealing with it. If you have a legitimate question, if you want to say something that pertains to our conversation, I will always post it. I'm not trying to duck anything, but if your whole persona is just about being negative, if it's just about being derogative, if it's just about being nasty, then I'm not going to have anything to do with you. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to post your comments. I'm just not going to acknowledge you at all. And then if you refuse to be a decent human being, I'm just going to block you. And that's kind of where I'm at with a few folks. Anyway, I've had to block a couple recently that just want to be nasty. Because you don't have to agree with everything I say. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having a differing opinion. I'm okay with having a discussion. I'm okay with even admitting that I'm wrong upon occasion. But if the only reason you're disagreeing with me is just to be derogative or derogatory, I'm just not going to deal with you. And that's the problem, man. You got these folks out there that just want to be negative for no other reason. They just want to be negative. If you don't ever want to be a decent human being, I'm not having anything to do with you. Now, I've ran across folks on social media that seem to have a lot of friends, but then everything they post is just negative about somebody else. I mean, unless you want to be a nice person, I'm just not going to embrace your ignorance. I'm not going to embrace your negativity. I'm just not going to. But anyways, I digress. If you have any questions or comments, please put it up on the screen. I have said in the past there's nothing I won't talk about or address. But the truth is, as long as it has something to do with the conversation. Again, if you're just being negative for the sake of being negative, no, I'm not going to give you a platform. If you just want to be an asshole, no. If you have a legitimate question, I will answer. But if you just want to be an asshole, no, I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna give you a platform. I'm not gonna post a question because you're just being a dick for the sake of being a dick. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drive. That song is stuck in my head right now. Lucero, making if we make it. Oh my God, that song is just amazing. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. So I've got a version of an old fashioned. I do have it served on the rocks because typically an old fashioned is served. Served straight up rather. Typically it is served on the rocks. So, and I've got it served straight up with no ice in the glass because I just don't want the extra ice at this particular moment in time. But what I have here is I'm using the Dogmaster bourbon. I got 2 ounces of actually I got about 2.5 ounces of Dogmaster. I've got a 1 ounce of my citrus simple syrup here using lemon, orange, and some mint, and a little bit. I've got some stuff going on here, and then I'm using some rhubarb bitters. There we go. But I do have it served straight up. If you like ice in your drink, hey man, you do you. I don't typically. Every once in a while, you will see me with a large square cube, but for the most part, I just prefer my drink straight up. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. I couldn't make it back to you, even if I wanted to. The hurricane makes landfall and bar serves another round. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. I love that chorus. That's just brilliant. Anyways, I digress. Bring it back, Tom. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I did some ribs out there today on my pit barrel. Oh my gosh, they came out great. But the other components to the dinner weren't ready yet, so we just had a rib. My wife and I said we're just gonna have a rib right now. We'll eat the rest later. Oh man, they came out nice. So typically, I make my own rubs. Anybody that knows me knows I do. However, yeah. So we were in the Kansas City area about 3 weeks ago, and I picked up some products from Pepper Caves. They had their championship barbecue seasoning. It was the mild that I purchased, and I bought that one because it didn't have any salt in it. The reason I buy the mild, why did I buy the mild? Well, I do like spicy, but my wife does not, so I figured I'm going to buy the mild. I could spice it up if I need to, but I also bought their grilling salt. So I actually added, so when I got what I needed out of that championship seasoning to season the ribs, and I got one tablespoon of the grilling salt, and I used 1 tablespoon of a raw sugar in there as well. And it came out very nice. I can see why it is a championship rib. It just put together very well. The hurricane makes landfall, a bar serves another ride. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. I love that chorus. That's just nice. So it is Saturday, a holiday weekend. Yeah, a younger me might have wanted to get out, go somewhere, but older me just wants to stay home. Younger me no longer exists. That person is no longer here, man. That's why, again, I find it interesting that you talk to certain people that knew you 100 years ago, right? That they knew you as a younger person, 35, 45 years ago. And they always want to bring that up. Well, you did this, or you did that, or you were this, you were that. So, if I was ever that person no longer exists, man. I don't know why you feel a need to keep bringing that up. That person doesn't live here anymore. And to be quite frank, that person really only lived in your mind. Your version of that person is you. It's all you. The person that is me, I mean, that just doesn't exist anymore. But you're always going to come across folks that won't let go of the bone, right? They want to remember you a specific way because they think that gives them some moral higher ground. Well, you were this, you were that. Well, I might have been, but I'm no longer that. and the fact that you need to remember me that way says a whole lot more about you than it does about me. Anyways, I digress. Jamaican if we make it, Savannah if we drown. Because the truth is, for some people, you're never going to measure up. Keep trying. Uh, you're just going to keep getting disappointed. You're never going to measure up to certain folks, so you might as well not even try. Be who you are. That's the conclusion I came to. Anyway, I am who I am, man. I might have been a lot of folks say, well, you're a lot like your dad. Well, that's true. There are some similarities, but I'm a lot unlike my dad as well. So it's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. Anyways, Slancha. I'm going to chase that with a beer. I've got the Belgian Abbey from Martin City Brewing. I believe this one clocks in about 7.2. I want to relax, enjoy a beautifully done beer from a great craft brewery. Here we go. Oh man, a beautifully done Abbey style ale. A lot of malt. You might find some dark fruit in there. It really depends on you and your taste buds, to be honest with you. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. There's a lot of folks of a certain age, let's just say, that want to say there's no music, there's no good music made these days. And I've been seeing this meme on social media that says the people that say there's no good music being made these days are folks that haven't listened to new music since their high school days. Well, that's not entirely untrue. Here's what I'll say. I don't think there's any decent commercial music being these days. I think everything you're hearing on your commercial radio stations is designed. They are programming that shit just for you. There's nothing decent. It's all cookie cutter and choreographed nonsense. But here's the good news. There is good music being made today. There really is. You're just not hearing it. Unless you've got some kind of streaming service, being it Spotify, Apple, or whatever, and you're going off the beaten path to find these things. Yeah, I mean, if you want to listen to the same 5 bands over and over again, by all means, listen to your local radio station. Listen to your local DJ who's only playing for you what he's been told to play for you. But get on Spotify. The few years I've been on Spotify, I found more new music in the last few years. Let's say 3 or 4 years than I found in the last decade, because it's there. You can find that music. You just have to look for it. I found bands like Lucero that's never getting commercial radio airplay. Ray Wiley Hubbard, Hayes Carl. I mean, there's a lot of great folks out there not getting commercial radio airplay, and they're there. You just got to look for them. And there's a lot of regional acts that you may not have ever heard of. Scott Keaton, for instance, a great artist out of Oklahoma City, and you're never going to hear him. It's just not going to happen unless you've got some kind of streaming service and you want to search for something. But I'm telling you, you got to be your best DJ. You got to be your own best DJ. You got to pay attention. You got to look for good music. Good music is out there. Now, for those that want to poke fun of us old people, say, well, that's because you haven't listened to anything new since high school. I've listened to a lot of things new since high school. But there is not a one damn decent song being played on commercial radio these days. Not a one. So I'm going to Spotify. I'm listening to folks like Chuck Prophet. I'm listening to Alejandro Escovedo. I'm listening to the bands that aren't getting commercial radio airplay, and they're out there. There's a bunch of them out there. The iguanas. There is a lot of great music being played today or made today. It's just not on your commercial radio station, and if that's all you want to listen to, you're never going to hear anything new. And quite frankly, you can be stuck in a rut even on your Spotify or Apple Radio or whatever. Unless you want to search, you got to look, man. You got to look. But there's a lot of good music out there. You just have to want to find it. But if you're content to listen to the same cookie cutter bullshit over and over again, by all means, don't listen to me. This is the same crap on commercial radio because that's what they want you to do. And in fact, I think that's what that post was all about. It was just about, oh no, don't listen to those people. They're old. They haven't listened to anything new since our high school days. I've listened to a lot of stuff new since then. I'm just not finding it on commercial radio because you folks don't have the balls to play the real music. Anyways, I digress. But I digress, man. I'm just saying the music's out there. You just have to want to find it. Again, Lucero. Look up Lucero. Look up Ray Wiley Hubbard. Look up Ace Carl. There's a lot of folks out there, man. I'm going to help you out here. Let me get my list. I'm going to get my list, by golly. Now I'm on a mission. Now it's become personal. Anyways. Well, maybe. I get my tablet to work. Here we go. Couldn't make it back to you. Even if I wanted to. Yeah, but listen to a lot of Ray Wiley Hubbard, Lucero lately, but again, there's even artists that you know, and you're not hearing songs that you should hear. Like for instance, Elton John the Cage. Look up Elton John the Cage, a song that you'll never hear on commercial radio. Oh, the Statesboro Review, Wade Bowen, Sinner Saint, SOB. That's a great tune. That was a long playlist I got there. I got a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, I have a very eclectic music taste, and not everybody does. I get it. I get some people want to stick in one specific wheelhouse, and that's okay. I'm just all over the place. I mean, I could go from old metal to old country in about 2 songs, but I get that my music tastes aren't for everybody. I understand that. I'm just saying that you don't have to be content with what you're listening to. You can find other avenues if you really want to. So, anyways, I digress. But I digress, man. Anyway, but I digress, baby. I digress. Now, I've never said I was the only person to say I digress. I've never said that it was my claim to fame. This is a line I use a lot. But I never stole it from anybody. It was out there for others to use. I know Michael Jackson is one of the folks that always use that line upon occasion, and there are others after him and before him. I didn't steal the line from anybody, but I do say it a lot because it works with what I do. But I digress. Never said I invented the line. But among the beer guys today, I'm one of the few that use it on a regular basis. But again, if folks typically want to accuse you of something, they're accusing of what they're guilty of. At this point in my existence, I just don't care anymore. Um, if you're not about being positive and bringing something nice into the world, I'm just not dealing with you anymore. I'm tired of folks that are intentionally being negative and want to blame you for that. You're on your own, man. It's funny. You think you have a friend, you think you have somebody you can talk to, uh, but you have people that just want to be negative about everything and everybody else. And if you don't agree with them along the way, all of a sudden it's your fault. Now, I'm just not doing it unless you want to decide to be a decent human being and be positive and throw positive light out into the universe. I'm just not having anything to do with you. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, poet, whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and also Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and a real good guy.